everybody. Welcome back to a late show. Let's check in with our friend, Mr. Jon Batiste. Hello, John.
Hello, Stephen. I love you. How you
Oh,
feeling?
let me turn you up here. I had you down. Sorry about that.
Yes, yes.
Good to see
Yes,
you.
yes.
Hey, listen,
Hey,
I really want to know how's everybody back home? I know you've got family down there, and how are they doing in Laura?
man, we are blessed and I'm thankful, but it's really hard to watch how West Louisiana, East Texas got pummeled, places I grew up playing basketball, going to see family and friends. You know, we've been through this before, but every single time, especially when it's category 4, category 5, it's terrifying.
Well, listen, please. I'm glad your family's okay. Give my love to them and your friends down there. And we're about to take a break, but over these 2 weeks, let's talk about ways in which we can help when we come back.
Oh,
Okay?
absolutely.
You
Already
might.
working on it.
Will you play us out with something a little hopeful, please?
Yes, indeed.
I like it.
Need a
I
little
like it.
humanism.
Exactly. Thank you, John. Jon Batiste, everybody.
Yes, indeed.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my guest tonight is an ABC News contributor who served as the 55th governor of New Jersey. Please welcome back to A Late Show, Governor Chris Christie. Governor, welcome back to the show.
Happy to be back, Stephen. Odd
Um,
circumstances, but it's good to see you again.
well, listen, when they said, hey, do you want to have Chris Christie on for the convention? It's like, yeah, we always have a good time together. We always, there's some playful banter and some gentle disagreements over some fairly important things. But then I found out, literally, I just found out yesterday or today that you're helping the Trump campaign. Are you helping him prep for these debates? I'm sorry, I can't hear the governor. I've lost audio on the governor.
Hello, can you hear me now, Stephen?
I can hear you now.
No, I haven't done any of that yet, Stephen.
But are you going to?
Well, if asked, I'll go in there and try to do the best I can to lend him some of my experience from before.
Please don't. Please don't, because this is the fourth time you've been on the show, I think. Is that right? Fourth time. And, every time you come on, we have a conversation. Chris Licht, my exec, goes, you like him. And I go, it's possible I might someday. He's a great guest, and it's possible I might like him someday. And this is seriously endangering the possibility that will happen. I have hope that I could like you someday.
And the feeling is mutual.
Okay.
I could like you someday too.
But here's the thing. This is your last chance right now to get off the Trump train, okay? Get off now, right now, before this interview, before he loses and the Truth and Reconciliation Commission drags you off to the Woketopia where you have to confess your crimes. Not that I think he's going to win, like, knock wood that he's not president anymore. Who knows what's going to happen?
Right.
But why on earth, after the last 4 years, where the country is now, with the dead people, with where the economy is right now, what he has done to our international standings, what he has done to children on the border, why would you want to chain yourself to this anchor made of manure?
Well, I'm not even going to go into responding to all of the different adjectives you use there. But I will say this: I'm not chained to anybody. But what I am chained to are a set of ideas that I believe are right for the country versus ideas which I think are wrong for the country.
What are those ideas?
So I believe in more conservative ideas, and I think that
He's not a conservative. He's not a conservative. He's a Trumpian. You know the Republican Party does not exist anymore. Jared Kushner said himself that this is a hostile takeover, and it's complete.
Steve,
Hostile.
there are still principles of the Republican Party that Republicans stand for.
Name one.
Sure. Smaller government, lower taxes.
Spending's never had more spending.
Well, of course, we have never had more spending now, Stephen, because we've had to, and I think you and I would both agree on that. In the face of the COVID crisis, I don't think any of us should be worrying about what we're spending to help to support those who lost their jobs, to try to rebuild businesses or keep businesses open.
He did not reduce the size of the budget 1 year.
Well, but it would be, it is significant.
But.
No. Let me finish. It's significantly less than it would be under Joe Biden and the Democrats.
Well, that's borrowing a boogeyman from tomorrow to make your point about what happened for the last 4 years.
No, it's not borrowing. It's because elections are always about tomorrow, Stephen. Elections are never about yesterday, and they're always about tomorrow. And
Hmm.
if I have to choose,
His abuse of power doesn't bother you at all.
listen, there have been things that have happened over the course of the last 4 years that, and I've said this on your show, that I don't agree with, and that if I were president, I would have done very differently. But now I'm down to a choice. I'm down to a choice between Donald Trump and Republican principles or Joe Biden and progressive principles. And I agree more with Republican principles than I do with progressive ones. And so that's the way I go.
A CBS poll shows that 57% of Republicans find 180,000 dead Americans from COVID acceptable. Are you one of those 57%?
No, I don't find any deaths from COVID acceptable. I understand that some were unavoidable, but
Some?
sure. I mean, listen, Stephen, when you have a crisis like this, a communicable disease that is as aggressive and as unknown as this one it was, especially in the beginning. When you look at what happened in Seattle, the elderly, it turns out, we had no way of knowing this until we saw the experience, but the elderly turned out to be the most vulnerable people to this disease. And so I think it's unavoidable that some deaths were going to occur. But I don't find any number of deaths
But
acceptable.
this isn't some. This is going to be by election day, probably 250,000 by the end of the year, 300,000. There's no other country in the world that comes close to that by by multiple factors.
And
This is a failure of historic proportions.
well, I think that there have been a number of reasons for that. And I think the first is that we didn't start off as aggressively as we should have. And I've said that publicly before. I wrote columns for the Washington Post mid-March.
Yeah, I got your April op-ed actually here too, and mid-March,
Sorry?
saying we need masks and testing. And
Yeah.
twice you've told me on the show that you'd be a better president than Donald Trump.
Well,
And I believe you based upon these op-eds. Does it disgust you to see this level of death, which you know was avoidable?
well, I listen, as I said before, I don't think any number of increased deaths are acceptable. I would have closed down the sports leagues faster than it was done. I would have closed down all the big public events sooner than it was done. So I would have done some things differently, and I think that it would have avoided more deaths. But in the end, there's a certain amount of death associated with this disease that is unavoidable. And
But
we've
it's
seen
not
that.
180,000. There
I
is
don't
no
know
other country that's anywhere close.
I don't know what the number is, Stephen, but
Uh-huh.
there is some amount that was unavoidable. And listen, at the end now, everyone gets judged on the job you did and on the vision you have for what you're going to do. And everybody's going to get judged on that, and that's the way this election is ultimately going to be determined.
How would you judge the president on his job with COVID?
I don't
Pass
think
or fail?
no, oh, I don't think you can give anybody a pass-fail grade, Stephen, on this stuff. You can't.
Okay, A, B, C,
Some
D,
things he did
F.
very well. I think there's some things he did very well. I think that the reaction in getting ventilators manufactured in this country, so no one ever had to go without a ventilator. I think the reaction now, there's no shortage of PPE. I think that was done very well. I think that the Paycheck Protection Program has really saved a lot of businesses across this country, and all of the other economic steps that were taken have lessened the impact of what this was going to be in our country when you think about shutting down our economy for 2 months almost completely. So I think there's some things he's done well, and I think the thing he did poorly was that he underreacted in the beginning. And I've on the record on this. Like you see, you have them in front of you. I was writing in the Washington Post in early March that we should have closed things down, that everyone should be wearing masks, everyone should be social distancing, no large gatherings. I was saying that in March, and I was called by some people alarmist. It turns out that I was right about that. But in the end, I think that's what he did, that he didn't do as well as he should have.
But he didn't just do that at the beginning. He did that into the summer. He mocked the wearing of masks. He still said it would just go away. He had rallies. How can you not say that that is not a colossal failure?
What I'm saying is that I don't agree with you saying into midsummer, because by April we had the entire economy of the country shut down.
No, but
And
he did not change how he was treating the idea of the basics you could do, like wear masks and stay away from each other.
well, and by the way, also Dr. Fauci said in the beginning, and CDC said in the beginning, that wearing masks would not help. Everybody was learning about this disease over a period of time. And I
Fauci changed that by the end of March, and Trump's kept mocking it into June.
Well, but the instructions that he gave to everybody thereafter, as part of the closing down the country, was including wearing masks when you left the house. Now, listen,
Well,
if I were
we got
hit,
we have to take a quick break. We can continue this back when we come back, but we'll be right back with more Governor Chris Christie. Thanks for being here.
thank you, Steve.